You're exactly right. Some of our better statesmen, our better lawyers, all that are regular, everyday people who have got in and learned on their own. They have had that initiative to get out there and make things better, so they've learned the issues.
Well, you
learn
know
about them and do.
You know something? I actually took a case of mine all the way to the Court of Appeals, and I won. In front of a 3-judge panel, and I won. Purely myself. I did it myself. I didn't have an attorney. I didn't have an attorney guiding me, representing me, supporting me, or anything else. And I took a case all the way to the Court of Appeals and won on 2 out of 2 issues in front of a 3-judge panel. Now, with all due respect, I guarantee you that there's no attorney in the world that would have been as well-versed or as motivated as I was to win my own case. I mean, I don't care how much money I paid him.
Exactly, because it was in your interest.
It was in my own interest. And I'm here to tell you that, there's absolutely no reason why a guy, or a girl who has an interest in the law shouldn't be able to take the bar exam without getting the genuflection and the blessing from the Bar Association that they've gone to a school where they've been inculcated or their mind filled with a bunch of nonsense. I don't believe that an attorney should have a first representation to the court. The attorney shouldn't. It may be an officer of the court, but his allegiance lies to his client, not to the court. I'm sorry to say. Right. So anyway, off that topic, that's a personal issue that just gripes the heck out of me.
Well, I will get back on this licensure thing.
Yeah.
Every year since I've been there, they have come up trying to statewide license for electricians. My son just built a house, and he and I wired that house. We done everything in there except make the connection to the breaker box. And if there was statewide licensure, we couldn't have done that. And it would put nearly every electrician in our area out of business because they do not belong to the right association and all this.
Pay dues.
Yes, and I find that over and over, it just keeps coming at us from different areas.
Mm-hmm.
They want home inspectors to be licensed. That was the biggest deal this last year in professional registration and licensing. They just kept driving to get people licensed to be home inspectors. And if that would have happened, there's nobody in southern Missouri would have qualified to do that. But the big number they had attached to it that you had to do.
Not to mention the fact that the cost and the expense to get into the business, I mean, that's the whole premise behind entrepreneurial America. And if you're going to stand there and make people, have to get approval or genuflection or a blessing from some organization that's financially motivated to either allow you in or disallow you out, there's a problem with that, I mean, look, I can build a house. I'm not an electrician. I would hire an electrician to do that, but I guarantee you I could frame it up as well as any certified framer would. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, exactly. I don't know how to, I've never been to law school, but I guarantee you I beat out a lot of attorneys who would have never made it to the appellate court. So, I mean, there's no reason why individuals should be prohibited from, working within the business of their choice because they're not a member of some organization that has lobbyists and political pull.
Right. Or doing their own work,
Or doing their own work, even more importantly, right?
No reason to stop them from doing that.
Our phone numbers, by the way, are 257-1111 and 866-554-6636. If you have a question that you'd like to ask Don, by all means, call in. By the way, Don, that brings up to one point. When I used to live in New Jersey, and I sold a house one time, and the one of the township ordinances was that in order to sell a house, you had to have a chimney sweep inspection. I kid you not. And the chimney sweep had to be a certified guy who was certified by the Chimney Sweep Association of America or whatever the heck it was. I don't know. And this guy charged me $50 to come in, look up in my flue, and say, "Okay, looks good to me."
Yeah.
$50. And the truth is that it was a fire. I mean, look, it was inexcusable that kind of the other things that they do is they force you to get, like, if you want to buy a piece of property, you have to have a survey that's current within the last 6 months.
Oh.
So basically what's happening is they're forcing you to do things like hire surveyors. I mean, surveyors are guaranteed employment that way.
And you know how all that happens, Mike? It all happens through lobbyists.
Absolutely.
That's exactly how it happens.
The Chimney Sweep Association of America threw money at somebody in the state and said, you're going to have to hire us to investigate every house that's got a chimney.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And then they go back to their constituency and say, see, chimney sweeps, this is why you should pay us $250 a year in dues.
That's what's happening here in Missouri, only it isn't growing as quick, but we see it all the time.
We have a caller on the line, by the way, Don, if you'd like to bring him on there. Come on into the room, caller. You're on with Don Wells and Mike Manchin.
I have a question on why you have a problem with people being licensed. What's wrong with having an electrician that's got basic knowledge of electricity?
There's not a thing wrong with that, and they can present themselves as a certified electrician. Certification is great, just like you can be a CPA or you can be a tax accountant. The problem is when someone is trying to put someone else out of business, and I don't believe in that. It's not right. We have always been an entrepreneur state and be able to do our own thing pretty much. And whenever you try to take someone else's livelihood away from them, it's wrong.
Because they don't belong to a specific organization or group that you're a member of. Caller, what's your motivation for this? They
don't have to belong to an organization or a union or anything else, but to say that anybody in the world can come in and wire a house and it's okay is ridiculous. They should have some qualifications.
If it's your own house, I disagree with you.
So, in other words, you can go out and hire somebody sitting in a local bar that's looking for a day's work and come home the next day and find a pile of ashes?
No, I'm saying that there are certain zoning ordinances that make you do it right in the first place, and that there are certain industry standards that wiring should be done to. But
zoning?
But wait,
what zoning has anything to do with building inspections?
But to tell me that I can't wire my own house. Now, you just said
you can. But if it burns down, you're going to tell the insurance company you did it yourself and you made a mistake?
Your insurance company has the right to make the determination as to whether or not they're going to pay for the insurance based on whether or not you did that. There are other motivations that drive it. What you're suggesting is that everybody be forced to
No, I'm not suggesting everybody be forced to do anything.
Well,
I'm merely saying if you want to hire an electrician, you ought to have some qualifications and be able to prove he's got some qualifications.
And that's okay, because that's the buyer's decision to make. The buyer, the guy who's going to hire that electrician, has the right to say, are you licensed and are you certified?
And like I said,
what is the problem with somebody paying $50 a year to the state to take a test to show that they know what you're doing?
It comes down to a whole lot more than that. I've been involved in this for 8 years, and they make things so stringent, and it's more than $50 a year. It would be more like $1,000 a year.
Where are you getting that figure from?
By the time you have to jump through all their hoops, and you have to have so much apprentice time and all this, and I just look at as an infringement on private rights, and I helped my son wire his house. I know a little bit about electricity. I took a basic electricity class while I was in the service, and most people who have grown up here in our Ozarks know a little bit about everything, because you have to survive here.
We've got to take a break. I'm going to ask you, caller, to hold on with us during the course of the break, and then when we come back, we can finish this topic. Is that fair enough?
That's fine.
Okay. We're going to take a break, folks, because it's the quarter hour, and when we come back, Don's going to have about another 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to wrap up the show. We'll be right back.